Hey guys, this is Joshua at Terra Firma 369. Today I'm going to do a video on my second prototype of my jet stove. A couple improvements that I've utilized this time is that the bottom base plate is aluminum, which helps lighten up the load. The holes are graduated, as you can see. I found a way by putting a piece of silicone tubing, slitting it up one side, and then putting a little bit of JB weld inside just to hold it in place. Makes for a good handle that keeps it from getting too hot for me to touch. The stove fits up into the pot stand pretty well, and it actually keeps it just a hair off the ground. That actually allows the stove to prime a little quicker than it would be otherwise. The stove does take a bit to prime, and I'll show you the procedure next for priming and a burn test. Alright, I'm going to put a ½ ounce of denatured alcohol into the main canister. By the way, I want to give credit to RJBURG and also to Hiramcook for their idea of increasing the size of the inner canister's air intake jet holes. By doing so, that allows the stove to equalize in pressure. What I do is I take my fuel canister and I take the nib and put it just inside that last hole, squeeze a couple drops. Next, I light it. It'll take a little bit to warm up, probably 30 seconds. When it does, I'll go ahead and light the top. As you can see, the bottom is lit. There's fuel down inside of the air intake area. I do that on purpose to heat the inner chamber that holds most of the fuel. Like I said, after about 30 seconds, there you go, and it catches up. You'll see once the evaporation of the fuel catches up with the air intake, this is quite a powerful stove. And I'm also going to demonstrate how I can touch it without getting burnt, and how my air intake system works. Alright, at this point she's about up to speed. As you can see, you have initial ignition down here, secondary ignition up here. The inner fuel chamber is what holds the fuel, and the holes in it are what control the air intake. Now watch the flame every time I take away a circle. This right here is about where I'd use it if I wanted to boil something. I think with this pot stand that I may actually add one more rung to it to make it about another ½ inch higher, just because the flame produced by this stove is so powerful. I'm going to reduce it down one more, and you'll see a reduction in flame again. Most of the time when you're cooking something, you don't need to reduce the flame and increase it and reduce it and increase it and reduce it over and over and over again during the cooking of one meal. Usually it's a high output flame and then a reduction, or a reduced flame the whole time. So the way I look at it, the phenomena that I'm going to show you next after I shut it down entirely, and as you can see, the flame reduces down to a nice baking flame. The phenomena I'm about to show you next, this is going to happen with this design. I can't get around it, but when you open it up to where there's two of the somewhat larger holes showing, then give it a little puff of air. You saw that little pop? There it goes. All that was, and if you look down at the air intake hole, was a reignition of the primary ignition. That is 100% all the way open. Size comparison, that's my hand. The weight of this unit is about 41 grams including pot stand, which I think is pretty decent. I made it almost the exact same way as my Prototype 1 except for the improvements I mentioned earlier. So if you wish to see a how-to, go to my Prototype 1 and you can extrapolate based upon this video what I did to improve the design. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.